Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for being here, hanging out with me. You know what to do. Hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It costs you nothing. And hit the bell so that you know when I go live and when I also add new content. I am so excited. It is already the 11th day of the year, and that's a really big deal because we are 1/3 through the first month. And if you don't know, I relaunched an entire new group coaching subscription in 2022. We had one in 2021, amazing success. We tweaked it and we really made it a little different for 2022. And I've been coming on here and sharing how it's going, what we're doing, some more behind the scenes in case you might think that you want to provide a service like this in the near future. Just some things that you can learn. And so I was really thinking about how to start the year and what to focus on. I like to create the program to be a year-long program. It gives us true time for transformation, and it allows me to work with every single one of my mentees in a 4-part year. Like I make intervals, 90 days at a time, each season at a time. The beginning of the year, we are focused on creating a powerful foundation. In the second part of the year, we're going to start really creating our plan to execute. I want every single woman to leave 2022 and to do in 1 year what she thought would take her 3 to 5 years. We tend to really be procrastinators, perfectionists. We tend to take something that can be executed now and stretch it long. I've been working with amazing women, executive women, business owners, speakers, high profile women. And, sometimes we like to think that the more accomplished we are, the better we are at just getting things done. But there's one big reason that we don't. And that is what I launched 2022 about. I made it about this thing. Okay. What do you think I picked to start off a strong 2022 and to make sure I give amazing value, a strong foundation for all of the women in our group? I picked the topic is the number one reason why women seek coaching. This topic is the number one reason why CEOs seek executive coaching. It's the number one reason why mothers seek parenting coaching. It is the number one reason why entrepreneurs seek business coaches, and that is confidence. Confidence is the number one reason why women seek coaching. It doesn't matter who you are or why. It is a common thread. So many of us really kind of lack confidence, and we tend to have a low self-esteem, which is a completely different topic, but often confused. And so I kicked off 2022 all about confidence. And so if you don't know, my strategy was on January 7th, I had an open house call, and that's posted. You can watch the last video that's posted. And so that call was open to everyone. And then tonight, January 11th, was our first private call where only our members were invited, and we had fun, you guys. We talked about confidence, and then we created a plan, a strategy for us to build our confidence through action, things that we actually have to do. And so I don't want to really go into the super details, but there were some things that I really wanted to share that I thought were super powerful. And it doesn't matter if you're leading a small group or a big group. These are some things I want you to really consider, some facts about confidence. One, the fact that confidence is the number one reason why women seek coaching. But here are some statements that CEO women made, and I want you to kind of tell me what you think about it. One, I don't speak up because I'm afraid I'll sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. Two, I'm not sure if I really have what it takes. Excuse me. I'm not sure if I really have what it takes. What really stood out to me about these two limiting beliefs that were said by powerful CEO women is that there is something that all of us can relate to. And I think that it doesn't matter who you're working with, whether it's someone who's barely considering launching a business or a brand, or even someone who has launched it and now just wants to take it to another level. This is something that we all struggle with, that voice, that narrative that says, man, what if I'm not enough? Or what if I look stupid? It's actually one of the strongest fears. We have 6 fears that hold us back. One of them is the fear of looking silly. And so we talked about this tonight. We kind of first started by relating and really understanding some of the psychology, some of the reason why we say these things to ourselves. And then we talked about 4 things that we're going to do to really build a strategy, like a plan for growing our confidence in 2022. And here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to actually kind of create an assessment. when confidence, the series closes, kind of just create an assessment, ask people where they are, and then later on in the year, kind of have them revisit that assessment so they can really compare how they started the year versus to maybe how they are in the middle part or closing the year. Because I have seen that when women really engage in a coaching program that's interactive, that has call to action, that engages them, that requires them to step up and to speak up and to share with one another, that there really is a growth of confidence. And believe it or not, confidence is measurable. Confidence can be measured by how you feel about yourself, how you're talking about yourself, how you are showing up in the boardroom or in business or in your networking. And so I think there's a simple way that we can really assess where our students are starting now, and then later in the year, really kind of revisiting some of this and saying, how are you doing with that inner voice? How are you doing with taking bigger risks? How are you doing with feeling that you are qualified? How are you doing with killing perfectionism? And really kind of just assessing them later in the year. I want them to really kind of revisit these thoughts and go, oh yeah, I said I was going to start doing that more. And I'm excited. And really what I love about this confidence series is that it's going to kind of tee us up for February, which is going to be when we focus on values. And there's a reason I want to focus on values. Being this, close to people in their journey, to people who are on their way. I've realized that there is so much thought process, right? There's so much. And when you have a coach, it's like a sounding board almost for all these things that you might have been saying to yourself. But now you have someone who can be a sounding board and maybe can even ask the questions that'll lead you to what you really want. I feel like a big part of what I do is I hear them, but then I get them to kind of cut the fat and focus on what they really want. One of the big reasons that we don't make decisions in executing our idea, our brand, our website, or whatever the desires of your heart are, the reason that we don't make a decision is because we have too many decisions. There's too many options, right? And so we talk about passion and purpose. Your passions may not necessarily be your purpose. For instance, I'm passionate about animals. I love animals. But I'm not going to launch anything for animals. I'm not going to start a nonprofit, or I'm not going to start a campaign. That's just not where I'm at, what I'm doing right now. It would be off-brand. It's something I'm passionate about, but it doesn't necessarily have to be my purpose. So I work with these amazing women who are really creating the leader within, seeing themselves as a brand many times for the first time, taking that service and that gift they have and packaging it. And one of the common conversations we have is, okay, pick. Okay. I know you're passionate about cooking. You're passionate about home decor. You're passionate about beauty and makeup. You're passionate about lifestyle, but we need to pick. And when I ask them to pick, it's like breaking their heart. I notice they freeze. Oh, what do I do? And there's a way to pick. There's a way to pick without feeling guilty. There's a way to pick without neglecting anything that's important to you. And that is knowing what your core values are. I know it sounds corny. It's not that big of a deal, but how many of us have actually really had a true values assessment? I can tell you, I thought I knew what my values were. I value family, I value community, I value friendship, I value making people feel accepted. But when I took my assessment, I realized my top value was achievement and advancement. And I was like, oh, that may change. That makes sense for me. I love to see people advance. In fact, I force people to advance. I get them uncomfortable. I'm good at that. I've been doing that in business for 10 years. I've been doing that as a mom. I've been doing that as a wife. I've been doing that as a coach for over 9 years. And it just makes sense to do that in this atmosphere with these amazing, amazing women who are trusting me and leading them for 2022. I'm going to make them a little uncomfortable, and I'm going to have them pick, and I'm going to have them focus. And the way that we're going to do that is in February, first, building our confidence in January, adopting new daily habits to build our confidence, knowing exactly what it is, neutralizing the limiting thoughts, replacing them with thoughts that actually help us, creating a plan, executing the action plan. Okay. I do not motivational talk. I give strategies so that these women can actually wake up tomorrow and start to think about their life differently, actually do some of these little steps and build confidence one day at a time. Because it doesn't matter what we do in 2022, if we don't start with confidence, we're going to talk ourselves out of everything that we want. And so we're starting with confidence. And then in February, we're going straight into values, where they're going to do a values assessment. And then we are going to do a values workshop for February, where we end up with our top 3 values. And it's a powerful way to really know yourself. It's a powerful way for you to start slimming down. what you want to do. Maybe you have a desire of your heart. Maybe you have a new project that you want to do. Maybe you're here because you're like, I have things I want to do. I just don't know what it should look like. Should it be a book? Should it be an ebook? Should it be a course? Should it be a podcast? Should it be a coaching subscription? Should it be a one-on-one thing? Should it just be a speech that I record? What is it? And I want to encourage you, because I know what that feels like to really not know how to translate the passion that's brewing inside of you. And so big tip. If you feel torn, that is a huge clue that it's time to narrow down those options. Okay, the brain does better when it has a binary choice. Which one out of two? Narrow down the options. Is it going to be the ebook with the recipes that your grandma passed down this year? Or is it going to be launching that women's brunch that helps a favorite nonprofit and helps Powerful Women Network? Which idea is it going to be? And for those of you who are super go-getters and you're like, I'm going to do it all, let me ask you, how has that strategy worked for you in the past? Has it gotten you the results that you wanted? A lot of times I look at myself as a go-getter. I like to believe I can do it all. But then I realize that that's part of my inability to create boundaries for myself and my desire to people please. When I skim things down and I pick and I execute on one thing and I keep my purpose focused, I do better. And when I do better, I feel better about myself and I execute bigger. I want to leave you with this last little nugget that was my favorite from tonight. We talked about perfectionism a little bit and how to really kind of fix it so that it doesn't impact our confidence, how to change the way we think about things so it doesn't impact our confidence. And as me, a recovering perfectionist, not only am I a member, I'm the president too. As a recovering perfectionist, one of the statements that really motivated me to fix perfectionism was this. I used to see this idea of perfectionism and I would think, okay, you know what? I embrace it. I'm a perfectionist. I get it, right? But what's the harm in that? There's nothing wrong with wanting to do things great, right? Just like an addict, right? Protecting their thing they need to get over. And I would say there's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist. Okay, so I want to spend 6 hours researching the best colors for my website. Why is that a problem? I want to, not launch the book until it's absolutely perfect and the grammar is impressive. And what's the problem with that? What's the problem being a perfectionist? And here's what I want to just give you in case you're suffering like I've suffered, all right? When you use up your precious mental energy to wrestle over details, you are prohibiting that same energy to be applied towards substantial contributions that can change the atmosphere. Let me translate that. When you're so fussing over the tiny little details, you're not acting like a CEO. When you're fussing over the tiny little details, you're robbing from your CEO self. Here's the example I gave. If you're the CEO of a major store, right? Like a Walmart or Target, does the CEO fuss over which way the gum display shows at the checkout line? Not likely. CEO is contributing in major ways. They are looking at much bigger ideas. They are involved in a bigger process. The person that might be fussing over which way the gum is facing is probably not the CEO. They have an important role too, but they're not the CEO. In your life, you have to decide who you are. Maybe you've made yourself the maid. Fire her. Maybe you've made yourself the 24-hour chef. If that's not what you want to do, fire yourself. Maybe you've made yourself the worrier of the business. Fire yourself. Whatever you're doing that is playing small in your own concept, fire yourself from that and go execute bigger. Make yourself the CEO. When I first started my coaching business, when I first started really business, I found myself spending days and weeks on tiny little things like, what is going to be the perfect words on my website? Or what is going to be the perfect color? Or what link am I going to use? Is it going to be Linktree or Shorby? I don't know. Let me research. And I would literally wrestle with details for months and weeks. And it robbed me from being a CEO and showing up bigger, from showing up bigger in maybe my network. I could be networking with powerful clients that can lead me to other clients. That's acting like a CEO. Or I can be working with brands that I'm going to bring on to some of my events this year. That's acting like a CEO. Me wrestling over which sentence should go first on the website, that's not acting like a CEO. That's a hireable position. Okay. That is a job that someone else can do. Picking the partners that are going to represent my events and my brands, that's not a job somebody else can do. That's a CEO position. So I just want to ask you, has perfectionism had you playing small? Have you wrestling with the tiny little details? Has it prevented you from really promoting yourself? It's probably a chance to kill it. Probably an opportunity here now to kill it and to untie yourself from perfectionism. So that's the value that I want to give today. Leave some feedback below. Let me know. Are you launching something? Are you launching a service that's going to impact other people? Is there a way that you can incorporate a confidence conversation in what you're doing? I bet you there is. And did you get any value from this? Let me know what you're creating. Also, I want to know as well. I'd love to follow you. I love to see and be nosy and see what the beautiful people of the world are creating for 2022. I believe that there is so much space for all of us to win, that we all are here to impact a particular network. So I want to know what you're up to as well. Thank you guys for checking this out. Definitely subscribe, hit the bell, and be sure to be here next time I go live or drop content. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, night, and I cannot wait to see all the things that you are launching in 2022. Bye.